What if every time you feel emotionally overwhelmed, instead of pushing the feelings away, you pause and ask, why are you here? Today we are talking about turning emotional chaos into clarity. Hello everyone, my name is Doris Victoria, your soul empowerment and conscious millionaire coach. And this video channel is meant to bring inspiration and empowerment to everyone. So back to our emotional theme. Emotions are our inner guiding system. And unfortunately, we're living in a society where emotions are not appreciated as strong. They're usually seen as weakness, they're usually seen as feminine, as if the feminine would be wrong by feeling. Because if we feel, by feeling, we're healing. There is no healing without feeling. So feelings, my dear ones, are absolutely right. They're always kind of like, they would always speak the truth. They would not lie to you like human beings maybe would. Emotions would always speak the truth. And if we see them as a guidance system in our life, they can really help us to get to more clarity. They can help us to turn from self-judgment into a space of self-love, of, curiosity, self-inquiry. Like, why is this emotion here? What is this trying to teach me? So for me, the emotional path has been a very, very interesting one because I'm coming from a background where feelings were absolutely ignored. They were and they always talk about, I'm bringing this beautiful example. You should see feelings like kids in the back of the car. You would not want to let them drive the car, meaning don't let them overwhelm you and then go into an argument or whatever it is, when you're at your workplace or when you're with your partner. You wouldn't want them to let you drive because that can really lead into even more chaos, because oftentimes when we let feelings drive the car and we are feeling overwhelmed, that's when hurting happens. And we would not want to go there. We want to address emotions as adults, not as children, not as parents. So see them like the kids in the trunk, not in the trunk, in the back of the car. Don't let them drive the car, but do not stuff them in the trunk either, so don't push your emotions away into your subconscious, which we are often forced to do as children. And this is where they get stuck. This is where they block the energy flow. This is where they create, when I look into a person's energy, I kind of see those emotional knots, blocks, Over time, they're becoming energetic, kind of like knots. You can really see them as such. And hence the energy, the universal energy that is constantly, the chi, as the Chinese say, or ki, is constantly flowing through us. But if our emotional body is not open to receive that chi, eventually we will be deprived of this life force energy, and then diseases can occur. And as we all know, most of the diseases, or if not every disease, has an emotional background, an emotional mental background. It starts with our mind. The mind is always trying to make sense of what we feel or what we are not allowed to feel. And then those beliefs are starting to rule our lives. This is why I said, don't let the emotions rule or drive your car. So emotions can mean anything. Anger, for example, can mean that your boundaries have been crossed. In my case, it was often that I came from an anxious attached background and I didn't know my boundaries. And so most of the time, the way, people in my family, caregivers treated me, I felt angry because I actually allowed them to treat me this way. until I learned that no, my limits are valuable and I can absolutely respect them, and being assertive in speaking them out loud. And if they're again not respected by the other, then I will leave. I will be consequent. I will not stay in an abusive conversation or relationship. So, but many of us, we have learned to kind of stuff them away. So as I said, anger can have many meanings, but in my case, the meaning was that often my boundaries were crossed. Sadness can often be a sign that either you need to grieve, either you need time for yourself and really need to grieve something, or maybe you need to let go of something. And you're sad because you know that this is waiting for you, that this would be the right thing to do, and this is actually why you're feeling sad. There's so many, anxiety, for example. Anxiety could be a sign that we are afraid of the unknown, that we are afraid of the future. Or anxiety often also stems from childhood, like all emotions, especially unhealed emotions, which some people would say negative emotions. I don't like to call them negative. As I said in my last video, they are lower vibrational frequencies because we are beings of joy. We are beings of love, of light, of joy. And dogs and children are showing us that. Infinite energy, infinite joy, infinite life force, eternal youth. We don't have to get sick with age, and we don't even have to age. So anxiety can be a fear of the unknown, for example, or it can also be a sign maybe that your values are not being respected, or whatever it is. Anxiety can also be a sign that you were not really taken care of when you were little. When you were crying or you had needs, no one was there for you. Or maybe the caregivers were there for you but not consistent. You were, in my case, you were craving for a connection, and sometimes this connection was there, but then other times it was gone. And so you were always craving for this connection. So the anxiety is actually stemming from a fear to be left alone. So anxiety is such a broad thing. I don't want to get more into this because it would take until Christmas at least, and now we're just in springtime. And then jealousy, I really want to mention that because jealousy, in many of my clients' cases, jealousy is often a wonderful invitation to come back into your power. Because if you're jealous of someone, maybe someone has something that you want to have and you're really jealous, maybe this is a sign that you admire them for what they have. And actually, if you're jealous, it is showing you that you have the potential to have the same thing, but you believe that you are not that special, or you're not that strong, or who are you to have it, whatever. But jealousy is it is really a wonderful feeling that brings us back into our power and shows us what is our potential of having or being. It can be anything, being someone, or having something, and you haven't really used that potential because maybe you didn't believe in yourself enough, or maybe you felt like you were not worthy, or whatever. So in this video, I really want to guide you through a process that can help you to use your feelings as this wonderful inner guidance system, this wonderful navigation system that it really is in your life, to keep healthy, to keep young, to keep joyous, and to constantly grow. Some people say grow. I like to say constantly remember who you are and who you are not. Because unhealed emotions, low vibrational emotions, like the ones I just mentioned, jealousy, sadness, anger, grief, they are oftentimes stemming from our childhood wounds. So the process, maybe you're already familiar with it, but this process is something that really, really helped me to turn my, in a way, self-judgment, because since I wasn't allowed as a child to feel my emotions, I often judged myself for feeling a certain way. you know, and of course we all have the tendency to stuff them in the trunk instead of having them being acknowledged and heard as our kids in the back of the car. So the process is, take a time, take your moment, you know, when you feel emotionally overwhelmed and you feel like something is going on inside of you, and maybe you're even afraid that it might overwhelm you and you will be out of control or whatever. Because if we many of us have learned to stuff our emotions away, but our emotions, they're like children, you know, as I said, they need to be heard. When they scream, they need to be heard. Someone needs to be present and, you know, acknowledge their needs and fulfill those needs as best as they can. So why not become the divine parent for ourselves in doing that? So if you feel this way, if you feel like an emotional overwhelmment or you are in an emotional inner chaos, just close your eyes and stop and notice. Notice, what are you feeling? And, you know, what is it that you're feeling? And then try to identify the feeling or name the feeling. That can actually help to get towards more clarity. So identify the feeling in your body. Where do I feel it in my body? And how would I describe the feeling? How would I name it? And as I said, this process will really open you up to see those emotions as something like your baby in a way, like your inner child. You know, it will help you to get clarity, to get away from judgment, to get away from fear, overwhelmment, into clarity and into loving yourself and accepting yourself more. So name it. Is it anger? Is it shame? Is it guilt? And then, you know, keep pausing, keep your eyes closed if you need to. Put your hand on where you're feeling these emotions. Maybe it's in your shoulders, maybe it's in your chest, maybe your heart, maybe your belly. And just listen. Just listen. You know? And then try to have a conversation with this feeling. Invite it, as I said in one of my last videos, invite it, like Rumi said, as a guest into your guest house. And I'm saying this quote again because it's valuable here. Rumi said that our emotions are like guests and you are the guest house. So invite every emotion in, whether it's positive or negative, but especially the negative or lower vibrational emotions that I just mentioned before need to be heard in order to be transformed and in order for the life force, the key, to flow. So listen, what is this emotion here to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to teach me? And then validate at the same time, you know? Validate this feeling. Do not kind of like go into your head and judge it and, oh no, this can't be right, or, you know, not trying to have this mental downward spiral. No, just listen without judgment and then validate. Validate that feeling. Okay, I got you. I feel you. I can feel you here, and it's okay that you're here. And then ask, as I said already, what are you here to teach me? And as you listen, maybe something is coming up for you. Maybe you will be reminded of a situation that you left without clarifying, or you split with someone, but you really needed to tell this person something, or, you know, it can be anything. Maybe you need to step out of a relationship. Maybe you really need to change your job because it's draining you. Whatever it is, just validate the feeling, listen to it, and then take action. Take inspired action or not. You know, it can be that maybe a situation needs your action, but come from a place of clarity and do not take action from a place of fear or emotional overwhelmment. As I said before, Take action from an inspired clarity place where you have identified the emotion, you have acknowledged it, validated it in your body, maybe even thanked it for it being there, because emotions are always our teachers. They are our messengers, and they are guiding us along the path of life. So this process is what I wanted to show you today, and hopefully it helps you to turn your emotions into clarity, into more self-empowerment, into more life force. Because remember that if our energy is clean and if our light has no kind of like lower vibrational, like dark knots in it, that's when ki or chi, the life force, can flow and nourish our body. So for us to be here on earth, joyful, fully authentic, fully honest with ourselves, approving, loving of ourselves, and really live the path of our soul. So let me know what you're taking away from today's video. I really hope it was helpful to you. Let me know what you're taking away in the comments below. I'm looking forward to what you're sharing with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And if you feel like you have unhealed emotions and you really need help, I can take 2 more clients into my schedule right now. Just drop me a message underneath the video and we will be in touch. And the first session is always free. This is the session where we're getting to know each other, where we're seeing if we are in vibrational alignment, and I will feel if I can help you with your needs. And from there we go. Anyway, so this is my message for you today, beloved soul. Take good care of yourself, be empowered, and walk your soul's path. Mwah! I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.